Hello, I'm Artifacts of Mars. This is Artifacts of Mars Disclosure. I'm going to take a look at a number of hollow objects. We're going to have to move really quickly on this. Take a look at this object right here. Polygon shape. Got a polygon shaped hole in it. Flat on the roof. That's apparently some sort of storage device. It's too far away to really tell what's inside it, but there is an object inside it. So it either stores something or it shelters something. It'd be difficult to tell unless we can get a closer view, which of course NASA isn't going to let us have. Right in here we have a little fuzziness, suggestive of plants. And right here we have two hollow objects. So this will be hollow object number 2 and number 3. This one has rectangular peaked roof on it. It's similar to peaked roof on a house, except much smaller. It's got something inside it, as does this one. These are probably machines that it's covering up. I've found this to be a common thing in the Mars photos. You have all these coverings that seem to cover objects that are important to the Martians or whoever they are. Here we have an unusual rectangular object sticking out up out of yet another covering. Don't know what that is. I'm going to just move along. I have to cover a lot of ground in part 1 in order to get part 2. Up in this region we can see a lot of stems hanging up, standing up. If you adjust the lighting you'll see them more clearly. Definitely stems for the plants. Pretty abundant plant life for a plant that's supposed to be dead. Alrighty, this object is yet another hollow object. Flat on top, kind of rounded on the sides a little bit. Something inside it, can't see it. Really distance. Very small object, probably covers a machine or something. Here we have an object with a Y-shaped opening. I'm not sure about this one, what we got there. It's going to take a lot more study, to be honest. So we're going to leave that one alone to some extent. But over here we have more interesting objects. Here we have one that's hollow. It has like a pipe or something sticking up out of the ground. Not natural. It's a typical covering that we see covering things that are apparently important to somebody. Here we have the largest object of the bunch. Hollow. You can see it has a thin shell, which rocks don't have. So that's not natural. It's got some sort of growth covering it. Vines, probably. That would be my guess. But here on the bottom we have a straight line of demarcation. Then we can see just a hint of a leg right here. Which means this object is not sitting on the ground, it's sitting up. Contrary to what we've been told, that's not a rock. Okay. Then we have a rounded object, possibly unnatural. I'm going to let this one go up because I'm not certain one way or the other about it. I don't have sufficient evidence to call it unnatural, but I don't like what I'm seeing there. Over here, follow a little hand, we have what I call a Quonset hut. Hollow, thin-shelled, definitely not natural. Right in front of it, we have some sort of rectangular object, definitely not natural. We'll zoom in a little bit. Very strange storage device, storage structure. We've covered all that. We're going to look at something even more remarkable. This is going to lead up to the one object that will be the clincher. This object is sticking up out of the ground. This is not sitting on the ground. You can see a rectangular hole which means this was either lowered into it or raised up out of it. I can't gather what the function would be. It's one of the stranger objects that I've seen. But it's definitely not natural, because nature could not possibly create a rectangular hole like that, or this rectangular area. So that's good. That's not natural. I think we gotta conclude that based on the evidence. One more. Here we have some sort of a shaft. You can see how this is rectangular. It's got a hole right in the middle of it. Hole's kind of a mouse hole shaped thing. You've seen those on the cartoons, how they're like a little arch. Well, that's basically the shape of this, except that it's lying flat on the ground. So that is a shaft that does something. Couldn't gather what. Was typical of the Mars photos that NASA would ignore something like that. So there we have it. I'm going to give you just a little hint on what's going to be next. Oop. Did you see it? There you go again. That object will have its own video because it's so incredible. I thank you for looking at part 1, and I hope you all will hang around for part 2, because part 2 is going to really put it all together. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.